What you are going to learn from this game is simply unbelievable. Let's first welcome the players. Vishy Anand enters the screen. He is playing on the top board for the Ganges Grandmasters. His opponent, Nepomniachtchi, smiles, gives him a handshake. He is representing the Balan Alaskan Knights. Nepo has had great respect for Vishy Anand. He has publicly said that during his World Championship matches that he is inspired by the way Vishy Anand plays and the way he conducts himself. And today he is facing him on the top board, on the icon board at the Global Chess League. We are very excited. Anand has the white pieces. In this tournament, he has had one win against Duda, one loss against Magnus. Let's see what happens here. E4, E5. The knight comes out and Nepo plays his favorite, the Petrov defense. Vishy takes a small pause, thinks about what he should do. There are many lines he can play. He decides to take. Knight comes back, knight to e4. And Anand plays the classical system which has held him in good stead for all these years with d4 and bishop d3. He shot castles and so does Nepo. And here the most common way to play is to push your pawn to c4, which is exactly what Vishy does, and Nepo responds instantly with c6. Anand now takes the pawn on d5, c takes d5 and develops his knight to c3. His idea is to put pressure on e4 and d5, so Nepo captures it, pawn takes. You can see Nepo is slightly remembering his preparation. Of course, all of his Petrov work has been done for 2 World Championship matches now, so it's very difficult to break it down. Knight d7 is a cool move because if you take on b7, the knight comes up and traps the rook. So Anand asks a question to the bishop moves back and now Vishy plays a very interesting move, hitting this pawn. The main move here used to be knight b6, but after c4 the game gets very sharp. So Nepo goes knight f6. Once again, he's just playing out of memory. This is not something he's thinking over the board. Bishop g5, you have pinned the knight, you are putting pressure here, but in comes a6. Now, you can't really take here because of bishop h2 and the queen takes. So therefore he first chops off the knight. Nepo instantly takes here. Vishy wins a pawn now, but Nepo seems to be still under control. He takes on f3. They are still following the game Grishchuk versus Etienne Bacro, which happened in 2022. There also the rook came to d8 and you can see Nepo staring a bit at Vishy, telling him, it's all preparation, Anand, you are not really playing something new. By the way, the first new move of the game has happened c4. In that game, king g2 was played. That's the reason why you can see Nepo just trying to recollect his prep, and he does bishop a3. He's not yet come down below his time that he began with. Bishop e4. Vishy is trying because he's a pawn up here, but it's opposite colored bishop position. Takes, bishop takes, and he brings his rook to the center of the board. Now the idea could be to attack this pawn later. Vishy chops off the pawn on b7, but Nepo takes on d4. Isn't he 2 pawns down now after Vishy takes the pawn on a6? Yes, he is 2 pawns down. Anand is 2 pawns up here. Rook comes in. He's attacking this a2 pawn. Also, bishop can come here and attack f2. So Vishy plays rook b1, threatening some back rank points there. Well, you can take on a2, but Nepo simply goes g6. Very smart move, making some space for the king. And Anand, in spite of being 2 pawns up, is not really winning because a2 is hanging and also bishop c5 is coming up. So first he stops bishop c5. Now Nepo takes here. And you can push c pawn, but then after rook c2 you would lose it. And so Vishy plays bishop b7 so that c5 c6 can be played, but now the rooks are offered for trade, you can't avoid it. And after bishop d5 he simply takes it, pawn takes, and the bishop drops back. With this, Nepo has safely equalized in the opposite colored bishop endgames. Having an extra pawn does not guarantee anything, and that's the reason why Nepo is completely fine. He brings his king up, and there they agree to a draw. Not even a single move played over the board by Yan, and he ends with more time than what he began with. What a guy, what preparation. And this also goes to show that when you are playing against players like Nepo, you need some really strong ideas up your sleeves, because otherwise they simply kill the game with the black pieces with their immense preparation. At some point it was Vishy who used to play this way, now it's Nepo.